Hello, hello, and happy Thursday. Happy Capricorn full moon. I am back to do part two. The astrological software went kaplooey last night in typical full moon chaotic energy. And of course, I have Uranus trine my Uranus right now, which is also then in a trine with Pluto. So I already had my Uranus trining Pluto, and now Uranus has come in too. Finish the trifecta. So just unexpected things, but we adjust and we recalibrate. I am going to go through the Libra through Pisces rising for this full moon in Capricorn today. That is at 18 degrees and 50 minutes. Hi, Syra. Hi, Little John. Hi, Shauna. Hi, Juan. And we're also going to just talk a tiny bit about what are some practices you can do for a full moon like this today. And just a reminder for anybody watching this, please go back and watch the first part of the full moon in Capricorn part one. The beginning has like all of the vibes of this full moon. I'm really talking about the energy of Capricorn, the mist energy of Capricorn. It really gives you a full comprehension of how to work with the energy so that we never feel like the energy is playing us. We want to play the energy. Hello, Michael. Good morning. Good morning. The other thing is I will be back at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, which is I want to say 7:30 p.m. In European time. And what would that be, like 10:30 PST Pacific time, with a mystery guest who is very gifted psychic and channeler, and they're going to be taking questions, any questions that you have. Those are free questions, and she's amazing. And I will be back at 1:30 for that. So please don't miss that. Okay. So again, let's share the screen. There we are. We have a Capricorn full moon. 18 degrees and 50 minutes, not 15. And it's having a conversation with the North Node, but that conversation is a sextile, so it's harmonious. It can take us forward and like moving forward in a place where if you feel stuck, and I feel like right now with everything going on, and also on a personal level, meaning all of us on our personal level and not just the craziness that's going on out and around the world, that we may be wanting to plan something or start something or get a project going, or the world is changing. Corporate life is changing. It started changing in 2020 when corporations figured out how much money they could save when people were working from home, and then how much money people could save if they were outsourcing and not paying benefits and not paying health insurance. And so there are more entrepreneurial opportunities and also more collaborative. As we are in Pluto and Aquarius, collaboration is key. And so when the world is shifting, right, and we've seen this at any time in your youth, you've looked at somebody who felt older and stuck in their ways and stuck in an old system or stuck in concepts, and thought like, you can't fight the technology, you can't fight the progress. When we have that within our workforce, it feels harder to just put a button and say you can't complain because we're not using rotary phones anymore, and we're all using, there's always that one person who's like, I liked it when we only had rotary phones and I didn't have to press any buttons because I got a person right away, right? So instead of it being something so obvious where it's like somebody feels a little bit more stuck in their ways and they don't, and they like the old ways and they don't want to move forward within the workforce, within us starting projects for ourselves, we're all still kind of deconstructing the way that it used to be. With the Capricorn full moon being sextile the north node and trine the south node, we also have just a small aspect. It's a very, very loose trine to the Virgo Mars. And so it's really important to not get hung up on whether it's perfect to start it, whether other people will say you're not doing a good job to start it. And starting it could be a new relationship, a new project, a move, something simple for yourself. For some people, it's changing their inner identity, and not caring who falls away. With the Cancerian sun, we want to make sure that that full moon, that seesaw, that juxtaposition when we're trying to find the sweet spot is that we don't hold attachments to things that no longer serve us. We want to be able to move forward, with the North Node as a helper, with Virgo Mars saying, yeah, let's do it, but not letting Virgo Mars hold you back, saying, wait, it's not ready, it's not ready, it's not ready. What if I move forward and I leave somebody I love behind? People that you're supposed to be with in that, in like your soul pod, your soul family, you can be doing different things, and also they can catch up. We don't want to cap anybody else's potential by coming down and staying with them if they need more growth too. And sometimes people grow away and from each other, and that is part of life's journey. But what we don't want to do is hold ourselves back because we're afraid our forward movement won't please someone else. And that's part of the focus here. Let me pop out the chat. Here we go. Okay. Let me know you all can see the screen with the astrology software. Okay. And I know some of you at work, I was hoping to also be able to catch some of our members and our lovely subscribers, and maybe not yet subscribers over in Europe, because often I go so late that it is the middle of the night for Europe. So ooh. All right, so last night, oh, good for you. Happy vacation. Last night I did a whole bunch about other people's opinions of us are none of our business. I gave some examples about how you can deal with that because that's easier said than done. There is a lot in last night's video, the first like 30, 40 minutes before we get into the houses. And then if you are Aries or late Pisces rising, through Virgo rising, that is on the first video. I did give a little teaser to Scorpio risings because we had so many in the chat last night, but I am going to do a more thorough Scorpio rising as I now go in and do Libra through Pisces. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at Libra. Libra risings, you're going to be having this in the fourth house. Now, if you are okay, why? There we go. This happened last night too. If you are A Libra rising, you're having this in the fourth house. If you are a late Virgo rising past the degrees of 18 degrees and 50 minutes, you're also having this in the fourth house. Chaotic full moon energy. This was working all last night. All last night and this morning I used it. Okay. If you are a Libra rising, you're having this in the fourth house, which is going to put your the Virgo Mars in your 12th. So we're having that aspect, that actionable aspect, kind of, it almost feels like it's happening behind the scenes. That full moon in the fourth house is absolutely energy to go through your house, cleanse it. And cleansing it means just going through your house and audibly speaking that you call back all your power to you now from anyone using it with or without your permission, and that you do not want and do not accept, and you reject any energy in your house, in your home, around your things that isn't yours to carry, isn't meant to be there. Hi, Odella. Hi, Zoe. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Adva and Mar. Did I say hi to Maricela? Yeah, no, I've got it. Like, when I put up the forgive me, Libra risings, when I put up the wheels, it's for your visuals. As an astrologer, I can tell you where something's happening or where the current aspects are, because I'm in everybody's charts and in the transits multiple times daily. So I I I promise, the while that's not fun to look at, we're gonna be fine. I don't need the chart for me. It's a visual aid for you guys. So just sometimes if I do this enough, it'll go away. So Libra risings, again, having this in the fourth house means that this full moon is celebrate your home. Make sure, especially with that Cancer Capricorn energy, that there is balance to how much you're stressing out about the things at home and how much you are creating sanctuary that not only is it nurturing to everyone else, because that Capricorn Cancer access, that is the parenting access, right? So you may be somebody who's constantly taking care of yourself, and the person that also needs to be nurtured in your home is you. And so that is important. So that is important. Create sanctuary for you to set up systems for you to be nurtured, as well as other people that are in your home that you're taking care of constantly. Again, that Virgo Mars, the action in this full moon for you to take is kind of behind the scenes. It can be spiritual. The other thing that you can do here in this energy is, I'm going to recommend that if you have student loans, that you look for TikToks that are talking about there are class actions and whatnot that will keep you from having to pay those the way that you are expected to pay them now. Because that Mars in the 12th house, if you make the right moves, that's also the house of government and institutions. And, you could get a pleasant surprise and put an ending to something that causes you stress. For anybody having this in the fourth house and their mom is with them, this is also a great time to have a conversation with your mom, have one of those really quiet conversations where you're doing most of the listening. Ask her questions. Today is an opportunity in the next couple of days to get stories out of her that she may not share all the time. Um, and rich history, things that will enrich who you are, understand the systems of your life, and also that would be healing to your mom. There's a bonding opportunity here as well. If you are Libra rising, you are possibly and most likely pulling money from Jupiter. Jupiter is in Cancer right now. And so of course that we're looking at that in your 10th house. This is a great pulling on your resources. Your talents are part of your resources in the 10th house, getting acknowledgement for that, possibly a raise, putting yourself out there, whether that's on social media, opening, and I know full moons are for closure, but they're also for celebrating. So if you've been working on a skill and you're ready to show it off, you can celebrate it and be seen doing it with those 10th house transits. And also with the full moon being in your 4th house, we're going to have Saturn, which is conjunct Neptune, ruling that 10th house as well. So when we are really the Mars in the 12th, the Saturn ruling, sorry, the moon ruling the 10th in Capricorn, and being seen, that Jupiter in Cancer being seen in the 10th house, magnifying what your talents are, magnifying why you're valuable to other people. And that could just be the voice, your experience, the story you have to share, making videos from home, making blogs from home, doing things where you feel relatable. It feels nurturing, but also there is recognition. And again, there's everything is different now. So there are ways to, there are 100% ways to boost your income, create more resources, and not actually leave the comfort of your own home. And when we are doing that, sometimes we think this is going to go out and no one's going to see it, or 3 people are going to see it, but there is still recognition. And there is still, when that one person gives you that feedback, especially with Jupiter and Cancer in that 10th, the idea that you've touched another life, the idea that you've made a difference, I promise you will add to your self-value. Now, if you're looking for new love in this transit, and you have Aquarius on that cusp of the 5th house, again, we're looking at Saturn and Aries. This is the, if you're interested in somebody, go make contact, go do something about it. It could be a little spicy too with Aries in Saturn and the Neptune right there. It could be a little romantic, a little spicy, not so shabby for Libra rising. This is quirky. This is shoot your shot. This is, be weird, be bold, but like make the move. In the 7th house with the Libra rising, we're going to have, again, Mars on that 7th house. When Mars is leading the 7th house or running through the 7th house, sometimes it can feel stabby in relationships. But the idea here is to wait till the full moon energy subsides when we're in that processing phase, right? So when we are processing everything that happened in our full moon phase, that's a better time to talk, a better time to listen to what other people have to say, a better time to learn. So if things are feeling stabby today and tomorrow, and a little bit Saturday may not be the day to discuss those things. Also, though, contracts could be coming up, and if we're you could be dissolving contracts or rewriting contracts or making sure all the caveats, all the details and everything are there for you to protect you. I'll try this again. Let's could we exit? Nope, it won't let us do anything. Let's see if that works. If you are Scorpio rising, we went over that a little bit last time. You're having this in the 3rd house. Communications and honestly, issues with siblings. Also, the 3rd house can also be very, very contractual. When we are having a 3rd house full moon, one of the things we want to look for is expired contracts, things that are coming up for your house, for the details, your insurance. Right now, I would, if everybody should be double checking their insurance, your privacy policies. Look and deep dive, because things may not be the way they were. But if you were thinking of starting a writing project, getting everything out of the way that would keep you from that, this is the perfect time. A podcast, anything where you are communicating. We're also going to be really careful if this is your if this is your hi, April. Hi, TMKC. We did not do Sag yet. We're on Scorpio. We're redoing Scorpio, and I'm waiting for my software to stop glitching. So the 3rd house, full moon 2, Virgo is going to be in that 11th house here. Use your communications, use your networking, use your connections, use your community to support you. Again, collaborations and entrepreneurship are going to be something we're going to be seeing more thematic in the workforce. If you are thinking of starting a project, a podcast, finding somebody to do that with, keeping inspired and looking laterally at old friends. Good morning, James. Looking for old friends, people that you have deep connections with, is also wonderful support during this time. Please, we're not on Leo rising. We are on, if somebody could write it in the chat, I could write it in the chat. We are on Scorpio rising. Now, if you are Scorpio rising, we're still pulling money with that Jupiter in Cancer right now. We are being seen, being recognized, being talked about, which is so funny because it's like Scorpio works hard and they want the accomplishment, but also like doesn't really love, like, what is everybody talking about? Are they, is it scandalous? Is it good? Is it bad? Maybe you just keep my name out your mouth. So there could be talk about you at work, but again, Scorpio can be mysterious and kind of feel like this call to badassery, and at the same time be very unassuming. If you know a Scorpio rising, they're still always really grateful for the accolades, and so Scorpios, I just want to say, Scorpio risings, I just want to say, like, let them speak about you. Um, let them give you your praise. And also, you know, you like a bag of money, ask for a raise with it. Don't, there's a scene from The Office where Dwight's talking about being the best salesman again and again. And one year they offered him 2 plaques in recognition instead of the small raise, and he took it. Don't be Dwight. Don't be Dwight. Don't just take the acknowledgement, go after the bag for it. Of course, if you are Scorpio rising, um you're gonna have Pisces in that 5th house. And again, Jupiter in Cancer. I mean, the magnification of feeling like somebody's a safe place for a Scorpio rising is really alluring. Uh, Again, I'm going to say shoot your shot with it being in the 10th house. This could also be like an online like crush with the other placements you have going on here, Scorpio rising, and be sweet. Let that vulnerable, I talked about Capricorn being creme brulee. I also mentioned you being creme brulee. Be sweet. You might be feeling very sweet lately. And if you are a Scorpio rising, of course, we have Taurus and a Venus, which is currently in Gemini conjunct Uranus. So, you know, Scorpio risings could get a surprise commitment, could understand their value to somebody that they weren't expecting. Of course, this is going to be a more rare occasion, but I wouldn't rule out proposals that you don't see coming for Scorpio risings. And career wise, you know, you've got that Leo on your MC. Recognition is really a beautiful thing. You're kind of used to it. With the sun in Cancer, also probably hanging out in your 10th, possibly in your 11th. We're getting networking done. Now, in a full moon, you might want to change the company you keep if you're really looking to progress forward in your career. If there's an accolade, if there's like an upper echelon you need to get into, if there's like a fellowship you want, if you're trying to move over to a project, if you're trying to like get into the inner sanctum, this is when you might need to level up and detach from a little bit from all the time that you spend on one crowd. They say what you want your life to look like, you should be surrounding yourself with people whose lives already look like that, right? And we talked about Capricorn, their currency is time. And where you put your time, where your attention goes, energy will flow. So where you put your time here, Scorpio risings, and who you surround yourself with is really going to have a long-term effect, and you'll see that effect in the next year on your long-term plans, for sure, for sure. Okay, somebody asked for Sag rising. That is where we are at. Listen, I love a Sag rising. First of all, your laugh, okay? Your laughs are all, I've never met a Sag rising that didn't have an infectious laugh or like a burst laugh or like a big laugh or a hearty laugh. And they're never not funny. They're never not funny. So what do we think? This is, I thought that would give up, but it isn't. It is not. It is not. I know there's a command to do this. Should we just shut it off? That it is what it is. Now, I guess you're just going to have to deal with my mug here. You definitely do. You have a good laugh. Hi, Gemini love. Let's see if I don't have, you know what we'll do? We'll put that up. There we go. No, we'll just leave it here. We're on Capricorn. I wish I had like a ring girl with a sign with what rising sign we're on. So if you are a Sag rising, um, you're probably having this in the second house. Capricorn full moon in the second house of resources and money. Listen, people panic when a full moon is happening in their second house. They're worried it's going to drain their resources. It's not. It's asking you where you're putting time into resources that aren't filling up your cup, that aren't doing the job, that are a waste of your time, right? What are you attached to? This is the way I used to do it. That isn't serving you any longer, isn't producing the income, isn't getting you where you want to be in career, in abundance. What are your other resources, right? What are your other resources? And again, not holding yourself back from, is it perfect enough yet? Failure, rejection, fear, those are all necessary things for us to climb that jagged mountain as Capricorn does. We need all that so that we have the lessons and we have the character building. Rejection is just the other side of boundaries. You can't, without rejection, you can't have boundaries, and we all need boundaries for healthy, happy lives. Without failure, you would be coddled. And, I gave this example in a session last night, but if you've ever looked at a coddled person where they never have to take accountability, I mean, we have one in public office right now, right? Where money just gets thrown at everything. The idea of never failing creates someone like that. You don't want to fear failure and keep you from anything, because, in the words of Salvador Dali, have no fear of perfection, for it doesn't exist. Just go do the thing. Your resources are you. Sometimes when we have the traditional old mindset that we need money from our boss, or we need money from this, or we need money from that, instead of feeling self-sufficient, which Capricorn is all about, the self-sufficiency, right? So really looking at your mindset and writing down, like, how was I taught to create resource? Or was I only taught to depend on resource? And I'm not saying that we should not take care of each other and we should not have a humane system where, I would be all for free healthcare and everything, because God knows we all pay enough taxes. We do have enough taxes to cover it without anybody else being drained for anything else. I personally don't want my taxes to go to Alligator Alcatraz. I would much rather my taxes go to help somebody that needs Medicare. But so I'm not talking about that, like, don't be dependent. I'm saying that when you have faith in yourself, when that self-esteem, when that second house is full, like the full moon, and brimming and feeling amazing about what you bring to the table, that is when we can start exploring other resources besides the ones that we were trained to have. When we are trying to think if I have just when we are looking at this second house moon here for Sagittarius, that means that we're looking at the Virgo in the ninth house. We're looking at that Virgo Mars in the ninth or the eighth, depending on your cusps. Holding any kind of fear. Again, this is for my Sag risings. You are Jupiter run. You are belief run. Your belief about yourself, what you can do, what you can't do, it runs the show already. this full moon is going to exacerbate that, depending on how you approach it, in the best way or in the most sobering way. Belief that you have a hard time doing things as good as somebody else, that is the kind of thing that we want to write it down and say, we don't need it anymore, fold it up in a piece of paper, burn it safely. And if you don't have a safe way to burn anything, if you're in an apartment, if you don't have any safe way to burn anything, flush it. And if you cannot flush it, just fold it up, step on it, put it in the trash. You just need to get it out of your space, right? But like the things that hold you back and believing that like, well, I could do that, but look at that person doing it. They're going to do it so much better. And I'm going to look like I'm, small change next to them. We're not doing that anymore. Sag risings are so good at being other people's hype person. And then maybe, struggle a little bit more to be their own. Not every Sag rising, but they want that. They want the best for other people. But then because they have so much faith in other people and they can see other people with that Jupiterian, Pisces can be the same way. The Jupiterian lens on that ascendant makes them see the best potential in people, the exaggerated best thing that it could be. And then they are looking at themselves in comparison, and we're not doing anymore. We're not doing that anymore. That is the best thing to give up for my lovely Sag risings. Of course, if you are a Sag rising, you're also pulling your resources from that Saturn and Aries conjunct the Neptune. We are looking at setting up systems. This is a great time to try to figure out how you can do a passive income project. There are so many. Mayhem Market, I think it's called, look it up on TikTok, is replacing Etsy, with Printify, with print shops where you can, if you come up with an idea and you want to do just a t-shirt, you just have to click a button, and the t-shirt company works with Printify or Printful, and they're going to print the t-shirt, they're going to fulfill the order, they're going to send the order out. It is all but extremely passive. This is a great time to look for passive income. If you are a Sag rising, then you've got Aries in that. You've probably got Aries in running your 5th house. Listen, you've got Neptune in that 5th. You've got Saturn in that 5th. Somebody with an age difference. You may find some romance, some encounter, some brown chicken, brown cow with them during this time, but also it could be very romantic and again, very spicy. And sometimes, in the words of Pedro Pascal, daddy is an attitude. Somebody doesn't have to have a full-on age difference, but you could just find yourself very attracted to somebody who like holds themselves with self-love but doesn't take themselves so seriously. That is such a manifestation of the Saturn and the Neptune together. If you are a Sag rising, then you of course have Gemini on that 7th house. So while that's being run by Mercury right now, and Mercury is in Leo, I just want to say that the opportunity right now for Sag risings to bond deeper with their partner, and this may sound crazy, but for some of you, get in the kitchen with your partner, get in the garden with your partner, do something where you're investing your time into whatever space that you share or whatever space you care about. If you live separately, and you're both humanitarians, which you likely are as a Sag rising, then by all means, go do something to benefit community, go volunteer someplace. But this is a really, it's a nice, don't sign any contracts on an emotional whim though right now, Sag risings. You could say yes to something totally emotionally fueled. I might wait and then have somebody check for me or get a second opinion on that. If you're Sag rising, you've got sorry, I'm looking at the comments. Ah, another Aries moon. Okay, if you are a Sag rising, you very well may have Virgo. Nope. Hold on. Yeah. Here we go. Do you hear that music? That is music to my ears. Let's see. Thank you for being patient. Ta-da. Okay, so if you're Sag rising and you're having that Capricorn moon, we went over the second house, we went over your house of romance, we went over your house of committed relationships, contractual things. We're looking at this 10th house now. You may find yourself feeling in competition with a boss or an authority figure that you're not trying to be in competition with them, but they're trying to be in competition with you right now. Don't let them get under your skin. With the Mars in the 10th and with and with the Capricorn full moon in your second, we are going to just do our best to ignore them and not let this come to a head right now. If you're feeling competition out in other places, like maybe you do something and then they do it right after, kind of a Selena Haley thing. Again, let this ride over. When we see somebody breaking their neck to stomp out somebody else's success, that is not a healthy person. Know that in the long run you win because you get to be you and they have to walk away being them. I would not worry. But if you're having somebody being petty or jealous or whatever right now, you just don't let that water you down at work. Don't let that water down like not post because you don't want them to come for you posting or you don't want them to copy you. That is usually, that's like a bullying narcissist tactic where they'll just make you feel subconscious about going after your own success. Don't listen to that. Do what you have to do, make those moves. The Mars is in your 10th house to do that. And just you have to ignore the unhealthy competition, because that you don't have to have it be unhealthy competition if you don't participate in it. Okay, let's see if we can pull up our Cap risings. Amazing. Okay, it's working. So with Cap rising, of course, you're having this in your first house. Do I? Do I? Do I? Ta-da! You're having this in the first house. We're really back in business now. You're having this in the first house. And now, of course, that Virgo Mars is in the ninth. I misspoke before and said when Virgo Mars was going to be in the eighth. But we're in Virgo Mars in the ninth here. This is about how you identify. This is your physical body. This is just, it is your physical body, but it is also your internal self. I can't stress how much that we want to make sure we're not holding on to old ideologies, old people, old systems. Honor who you are. You don't have to let go of the tradition. You don't, it's like learning history so you don't repeat it, right? You can have love for the things that made you you. You can have love for your bumps and bruises and not worry about if it makes you look imperfect. But at the same time, looking at, especially when I said in the thumbnail about how can you move forward, you've got that north node there in a sextile, uh happily wanting to help you move forward in your life, move forward on journey, move forward as a soul. And anything that you're letting hold you back, whether that be about you've honed a skill so beautifully and so perfectly, that is your identity, and you sit well knowing that you're in a master of it. That is wonderful. And then to stay in that and not move forward, um, because you don't want to learn a new system because you've mastered this one and maybe the system is changing anyway. If we hold on to the resentment of, what do you mean the system is changing? I am the master of the system we were already using. Now, whether that's the system in your house, the way you're doing things in your house, the way you're doing things in your friendships, the way that this could be the smallest thing, because this isn't a giant, we don't have all these cataclysmic aspects to this moon. This could just be like the jokes you make, the things that you're like, oh, come on, I grew up saying this, or I grew up like, that's, you're being too sensitive. Looking at the way things are changing and honoring who you are and making sure you're leaving yourself room for growth, not for perfection and in the only way that you're used to doing something. This, whenever we have a full moon in the first house, it's supposed to like break and let go of something that we really have outgrown, and maybe we're still holding on to it a little bit. uh, and with the sun in the seventh house, um we could come to this awareness through a relationship, through somebody in that house of mirrors, as I like to say. You're still pulling in, you're pulling in your money and your resources from that Saturn in Aries, which is in the third house. Communications, again, we're looking at contractual things. Could be a lateral move. And also, we're going to look to people we've known a really long time, maybe for connections. If you're still looking for like a new job or to create new resources, uh, we want you to network and be friendly, but don't sleep on those old friends. Don't sleep on the neighbor that knows somebody. The other thing too here is we could start a project with an old friend. We could start a project with a friend that we trust. We could start a project with a sibling here, or we could be setting up systems. This is also possibly if you have a project that you want to start that's big, if you have something that you think this is a big idea, but I know it's a good idea and you totally believe in it, this would be a good time to find an assistant, a personal assistant, virtual assistant, one of those things. Look out for that through the networks of friends and family. If you're looking to pull in new love, you're being run by Venus. It's a surprise. Listen, I would not be surprised if somebody came into your workplace, if you met somebody at your job, if you go on daily walks, if you're taking your dog to the dog park. And listen, if you want to meet somebody new and you got a dog or you want to borrow a dog, one of your neighborhood things, but also where you're shopping every day, those kind of things, your daily routines could surprise you with a new partner. And there could just be witty banter that turns into something a little bit more spicy, a little bit more romantic. Of course, we have the lovely Cancerian descendant. It's so funny because every Cap rising I know loves the Cancer on the descendant and also gets frustrated with Cancer on the descendant at the same time. Listen, you got Jupiter running through your 7th house right now. Feelings are big. Whatever the feelings are in your relationship, they're going to be magnified. That just is what it is. The moon, that full moon in Capricorn is running that 2nd house. Could some of you see endings or near endings and things having to get really some habits or some communication systems being put to a close and possible relationships being put to a close? Yes, but it doesn't have to be your committed partner. It could be other kind of partners. This is also where we might see ride or die friends. And it could just mean that there is adjustment. Don't forget, when we're looking at the full moon, that's when we're picking the right fruit. So like if you're picking the strawberries that you planted, does it need more sunlight, less sunlight? Does it need more water, less water? Sometimes we're just having to make really big adjustments to those relationships to keep them going, to keep them standing the test of time, which is what Saturn is asking of us, right? And in that 10th house with Libra, on the MC, and then of course Venus is in Gemini. Show off your smarts, show off the value of the way that you think and why that is different and how that is different. I don't want to say put your resume on the top, put your ideas on the top, but I do. Right now is not the time to be shy, about, I want that job, I want that promotion. Maybe you weren't considering me for it, but you should. And be open to more than one position. If you've had your eye on one thing, Cap risings, and somebody offers you something different, don't say no right away. Contemplate it. Keep yourself open to it. Have somebody pull a card for it. Ask your guides to show you in your dreams. But there is potential here for there to be a second way that you didn't expect. All right, let's try this with Aquarius rising. We're almost done. And then just a reminder for everybody, while I have you at 1:30, I'm going to be back with a special guest, and they are a very gifted psychic, and they are going to be letting you ask whatever questions you want and giving you channeled and psychic messages. And when I say gifted, very gifted. I often use this person as my go-to, and their abilities are always like, even though I have gone to them more than once, and I have spoken with other clients that have used them for their services. I'm never not surprised at the ability of the detail this person can pull and accurately. Okay, Aquarius rising. Where are my Aquarius risings? I know you guys are a little more quiet because you're all sneaking your YouTube at work. Here we go, Aquarius rising. Let me make sure I can see that chat. Hi, Gemini love. Glad you're back. So, Gemini risings, you may have Uranus in your 12th house right now. You've probably had it in your 12th house. And late Taurus risings, right? Sorry, Aquarius rising. Why does the Aquarius rising giving me, sorry, I just looked. I said Aquarius rising. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Why is the Aquarius rising giving me? Y'all see this, right? Uranus in the first house. Let's try this again. Aquarius rising. You're having this in your 12th house. Of course you are. I'm such I'm in and out of charts every day. You just look at the rising and you start to speak. All right, Aquarius rising, sorry about that. You're having this in your 12th house. What's interesting is you also probably still have Pluto in your 12th house, unless you are a 0, 1 degree or 2-degree Aquarius. Anything more than 2 degrees, you also have Pluto in the 12th house. So there could just feel like there's a lot changing behind the scenes. You may not feel like the next version of you is here yet. You might be one of these people that are thinking like, I'm almost there on the other version of me. And Pisces rising may have that feeling too, like you're in a precipice, but especially Aquarius rising right now, the full moon happening in the 12th house. This is great. Like if you are having trouble channeling or you want to go deeper into your spiritual gifts, this is an excellent time. Today, I would ask for exactly what you want your guides to bring you, and I would expect it to be brought to you. When we do not feel heard or seen, or we have had experience feeling like that, with the Aquarius, with the Capricorn moon in this 12th house, Aquarius rising, you're going to give yourself permission to never chase that. You're going to let go of ever feeling misunderstood, whenever you have felt misunderstood or willfully misunderstood. And Aquarius rising is genius and quirky, and they really wrongly get called detached all the time. They're not detached. You're just not about the bullshit, and you're not about the drama, like at all. And so when you are not about the drama, other people who are looking to evoke reactions from you will often then slander the shit out of you when they don't get that reaction out of you, right? And so you could feel like, well, I was doing that for everybody's best interest, or like that was a waste of everybody's time. If whenever you felt misunderstood, this is the time. That is what I want you to write down, what I want you to get rid of. You know, Mars is either in your 8th or late in your 7th Aquarius rising, and that is other people's money. That is, if you are somebody who works from client money, somebody who works from investment money, somebody who gets brand deals, somebody who gets any kind of money from other people where they have to feel called to give you that money, you have to convince them that like your services are the services for them, that there's value in them, that your services are a great resource to them. Perfect your pitch. This is a time to perfect your pitch. Use ChatGPT, or use a writing partner, but perfecting your pitch and not overthinking it is really it can bring you a lot of client money. It can really make a difference in how you feel, whether you're chasing or attracting the money that you need to make, the money that you need to resource yourself. With Jupiter in Cancer in that either in that 5th or that 6th right now, magnify your creativity, Aquarius rising. You're so creative, you're so brilliant. Really lean into that creative. I mean, even if we look at what conventional commercials used to be, they're not like that. They are quirky, they are funny, they're going for that either Gen Z sense of humor. I mean, it's not like Toilet Skibbity, but it, we're getting more quirky. We need, right? We need the escape. We need the oddity to outbeat the oddity that we see out in the real world. Don't sleep on how much your creativity will bring you more resources, and that is part of your talent. It is part of your it's part of your charm, but it's also part of your resources. The way you make somebody else feel normalized is also probably going to come up for you. So for all the people who willfully misunderstood you, there are people who you help feel more normal and more sane. And not that you should monetize being a good human, because no one should ever do that. But certainly you're allowed to pay bills, and there's first of all self-esteem boost, and second of all, there are definitely resources to be had from the way that you can reach people and make them feel comfortable. They're going to want to be around that. You are pulling romance from Mercury again. Drop the line. Drop in the DM. Be witty, be funny. Don't be gross. Don't be pervy, right? Of course you're not going to be, because you're Aquarius rising. But be witty, be funny, and impress them with an idea. Talk about ideas, talk about real things. If you want to start or create a romance, be outrageous and be quirky, but talk about real things, talk about intelligent things. You definitely, if there is anyone coming in, they're going to be smart, and they may almost feel a little intimidating, even for an Aquarius rising. And I'm telling you to be as weird and funny as you're capable of, and that is going to help spark the spark. The 7th house. Ooh, you got Leo on the 7th house. We got Mercury sitting right there. If you're in a committed relationship, it could feel a little bit like every man for themselves right now. Again, this is not the time that I would get into the deep conversations, the arguments about who's being selfish and who's being a team player. Give it a couple of days, give it 3 days, and then come back to it. Also, there could be something offered to you in the way of contracts or business proposals or partnerships, and have somebody else take a look at take a look at that. But there could be a really good offer coming your way in the way of partnership, etc. And of course, we've got Scorpio on the MC, and that Mars is in Virgo. Um, and it's most likely Mars is most likely in your eighth. Again, we're focused back on other people's money. We really are. You have great potential to pull in investors, client money, right now. And really work with that. I attract, I don't chase. Okay, we are on the last one, Pisces. Let's get our Pisces rising up there. Now that's Aquarius. Oh, here we are, Pisces rising. You're having this in the 11th house. It's a full moon in the 11th house. Listen, Pisces rising, if you're going to have a party, this is a great time to have a party this weekend. If you're having a birthday party, if you wanted to have like a little backyard get together, literally with just your friends, or if you have kids, your kids' friends, like this is a great weekend to have a little party. That 11th house community sense is really beautiful. Or if you wanted to celebrate something else, even if it was going to be like an online party, an online get together, I promise I will bring an antipasta salad. If you know, you know, and everybody will be polite. But this is actually great long-term, standing the test of time in the house of long-term plans. Not so shabby for Pisces rising. Where do you want, wherever you put your attention now, the energy will flow. This is a time to really look at what is holding you back from where you want your life to look like in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. What emotional ties, what if it's not perfect stuff, out of the way, because this is the adjustment period to really set yourself up for success moving forward. You've got that Virgo Mars in your 7th house. Again, things could be a little prickly, possibly, in partnerships, or in like your people that you have any kind of contracts with, agreements with, but also with Mars in Virgo in the 7th house, you could find just the right arrangement. Like, say you do something as a Pisces rising, right? That's a little less conventional. And you think like, well, if I did this, it would be easy. I would just partner with that kind of a person, because you see that being done all the time. The very perfect opportunity may come up to partner with somebody about anything. This will all help your whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to get off the ground. This is all very helpful. So that 11th house, those long-term plans. This also could be putting to rest anything that keeps you from putting yourself out there, like on the internet, on larger communities, making yourself more of a seen voice. If you are looking for resources, Saturn and Aries, just do it. Just do it. Start the systems, start the project, and there is plenty of momentum there for you, especially because today is the 10th. On the 13th, Saturn will go retrograde. The next 3 days is really the time to like make a move. If you're looking to pull in new romance, woo woo, we are being led by that Capricorn full moon. Online crushes. I just heard the lip gloss song in my head. You really could find like online anything could bring you. Just be careful that it's not instant limerence, that it's not instant like, oh my God, I knew within an hour with Jupiter in that fifth house in Cancer. Of course, it's being run by that full moon. So maybe a little bit of like zaddy daddy is an attitude energy, but also we're going to be really careful. This is the time for Pisces rising where if you let it, somebody could really talk the panties off. Again, in that seventh house, avoid fights, but really look for that kind of perfect contract. And, you know, you've got that Jupiter in Cancer also running that second house right now. Be creative, be open, and with the aspect that it's making, especially to Mars in that sextile, it's loose, but it's still there for Jupiter. Really concentrate on where, don't put any caps on yourself. Concentrate on where something would go and where it could go, what its full potential is, but just allow it. Just believe that it can happen. Any creative approaches that you have to work projects, to recognition, to getting a raise, to getting seen for a raise. And you could have a lot of good exposure right now. There could be talk about you. There could be uh more public fodder about what you're good at than you're used to. Okay. I'm just going to, that is it for all the signs. Thank you for being patient through all the technological snafus. We are just going to talk about one last thing, and then I'm going to let you all go. Today, whatever you feel is holding you back, the idea of perfection, the fear of failure, the shit talking. We did a whole thing about haters in the part 1. Please, please, please go watch this. Anything that you feel like holds you back from moving forward on something that you know you already have the skills, you already have the passion, you already have the tenacity. And it's these other stupid minutia things that I promise you on your deathbed, if somebody was held two people's hands on their deathbed, you won't care about. I've been present while souls have passed more than somebody who doesn't work in healthcare or in hospice should. But I'm telling you, that's not what's on somebody's mind. And maybe that gives me a little bit more chutzpah. Maybe that gives me a little bit more bravery in putting myself out there and saying things and not caring what other people think. But I'm so grateful for it. You already have the tenacity, you already have the skills. So please don't let that other stuff hold you back. And certainly not perfection. You know, it always, I always feel like I need to remind everybody, if you are sitting here in this space, if you're listening to an astrologer, if you're listening to a metaphysical practitioner, if you are seeking guidance in any way to grow yourself as a human, you most likely believe that we spend more than one lifetime here. If you understand the concept that we're going to do this again to fulfill other parts of our soul, right? To accomplish more things because we can, then you can't also believe in the idea of perfection, even if you are an incredible Virgo, even if you have Virgo placements or strong sixth house placements. If we understand that we have more than one lifetime, then you can't think that there is perfection, because then no one would have to have more than one lifetime. Ta-da! Let that go. Let that go. We're going to write down everything. We're going to either burn it, we're going to fold it. I don't do that under the pillow stuff. If other people do that, that's great. we're going to either safely burn it. It's summertime, find a bonfire where it's safe. Or we are going to rip it up. And after we fold it away from you also. Write down what's keeping you back. Don't write what you're looking for. Write down what are the things that you think are keeping you back. That's it. Fold that paper away from you. And then we are going to give it up to universe that we're going to work on it and they're going to support it, whether that's sending you a person to help support you get rid of that stuff, whether that they're sending other systems to help you. Maybe you find another creator. Maybe you find an online thing where you can kind of, if it's disorganization, some organization thing will come in your feed. Listen, I don't know what it's going to be, but ask for universe to support it. We're folding it away. We're ripping it up after we ask for universe to also support it. And we know that we have to do our work too. And then if you can't burn it and you can't flush it, then please just get rid of it in the garbage. The good news is it's Thursday. And I don't know about you, but I've never lived someplace where garbage isn't always like a Thursday, Friday, or a Saturday, right? So like get it out to the garbage, get it out of your presence, and really concentrate on remembering that you already have the skill set. Celebrate your expertise the way other people celebrate their mediocrity. You already have the tenacity, you have the passion, you're doing it for the good reasons, and don't let things hold you back. And really, when we're going to talk about father time and we're going to talk about Saturnian things, which includes the passing of time and the passing of people, I promise you, most 80% of the things that hold us back from doing stuff is the stuff that you will not care about when you're leaving this life. It will not have mattered. Don't let that stuff hold you back. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, I love you. Know you love you. Don't forget to come back at 1:30 for my mystery guest in 2 hours. I'm so excited and it will be free and she's very talented. And I will see you then. All right. Bye, kids.